Hi, welcome to the next edition of talking about starter decks. So starter 22 is about ready to drop this Friday. So if you're interested in picking up, learning on how to pick up the deck for cheap and slight upgrades, this is what this video is for. We're going to be definitely pushing this video ahead of time, so you should be able to access to this video before you go pick it up this Friday. So if you pick it up right out of the gate and you buy two decks, shove them together, this is basically what you start with. I would recommend. I did put 2-2 split between Little Ors Jr. and AO because I wanted a little bit more 4-drops and also like to have a little bit of decent 7k attacker. Besides that, for 5, so this is basically what I would start with for competitive. Now, unlike last time, I'm going to go into what you need to do to get the finalized product if you are not buying two decks. So if you buy one deck, you're definitely going to need to pick up on the singles market 2 copies of Odin, 2 copies of Izzo. Now, I don't know the price of these because it's still in pre-sale, so keep in mind that I don't know how much they're going to cost. If they're more than the cost of the deck itself, I recommend just picking up another deck because you get a free booster pack. You need to pick up 2 copies of Whitey Bay. I play 4 copies in the deck in the finalized product, so you got to pick up 2 copies of these as well, and 2 copies of Take That Back. Take Back What You Said. This is a really good common event. You kind of want 4 copies of this. It's pretty solid. Now, the first thing we're going to do is cut the AOs from the deck. I switched it so that way you could see the rarity of the card you're replacing it with. So we're going to pick up 2 copies of Pudding. They're about $2 a piece. So we're going to swap this. They're both 4-drops. Pretty good swap. Next, we're going to go ahead and swap out our Swords for 4 copies of Atmos. Again, this card should be like 7 to 10 cents. But if you pick them up for your LGS, they're going to be a quarter. Like, it's one of those things, like, it's like the minimum that LGS's charge is a quarter. This is a pretty good pickup if you can pick it up. Next, we're going to cut 2 copies of Marco, 2 copies of the Little Orange Jr., pick up 4 copies of our new 2K King Dew, which is a nice 4,000, and you can reveal 2 Whitebeards. It gets plus 2,000, so it's a 6,000 attacker with the 2K counter. Not a terrible card, and it really works well with our late game, which is the 5-drop ace. Next, we're going to cut the Jozu for Jozu. It's 1 less cost. It's just a much better card. It allows us to reuse our blockers, to reuse our ETB effects. Also bounce a 6-drop from their side of the board. So it's a huge tempo swing in our favor. And the 1 extra cost, you could bounce our blocker and recast it. It still costs 7. So you're happy with that. If they're running about basically, I think $1.50 a piece. So pick them up. Pretty good pickup here. Next, we're going to cut the Fire Fist, which we're running 4 copies, but keep in mind, 3 of them is going to be going into Newgate. We're also going to be cutting 1 of the 9-drop Newgate to make up the final numbers. But those other extra cuts you don't really care about because you're not actually buying any cards. You're just adding cards that you would get in your starter deck back into the deck for the finalized product, because we're specializing in something different. Next, we're going to go ahead and cut the 2K counter port ace. We're going to pick up 4 copies of the 5-drop 6,000 1K ace. Then on play, basically you could reveal 1 character on top of your deck. It was Whitebeard with cost 4 or less and put it rested. So pretty solid. Actually, it doesn't say rested. Never mind. So you get to play any of the 4-drops that we showed earlier. Marco plus the other Atmos and the other guy too. And pretty good effect there. That's one of your best things you could do on turn 5 or turn 3. So this is what you really want to do with your leader. Now, the finalized product, we spent $14.50 if you bought all the additional upgrades. Keep in mind, I do not know the price of the actual couple more copies of, Whitey Bay, plus a couple copies more of this card as well, and the Odin and the Izu, right? But this is what the final product is. So we have 9 and 10, we have 3 9-drops, 3 10-drops. When you get OP13, you're going to want to cut this 10-drop and probably a 9-drop and play the brand new 10-drop Newgate. And then, of course, we have the I Am Whitebeard. We're going to be upping that up to 4. In the previous build, we didn't have that many Newgates. Now we have 6 Newgates. So that should be more than enough to play 4 copies of I Am Newgate. So that really kind of makes this deck special. we're built around this card as a whole. So we could drop this down for 8 Dawn, leave up a couple events, and then protect our stuff. So that's kind of what we're doing. This is kind of a spicy deck. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this deck. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back when they release what ST29 and on. We're going to keep the series going, and hopefully this helps you guys pick up learn how to pick up the deck and make slight modifications to improve the list for your LGS tournament play. Now, if you're interested in seeing a more even a more competitive version of this deck, there's definitely other people that have access to it. I could have looked into more of it, since I do have $30 or $15 to work with here, because my goal is to make it the upgrades less than $30. But if you have any suggestions at all what I could have done with that extra 15 bucks, let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys next time.